What's going on YouTube? HB Tech Global here with another TryHackMe video. Today will be the final video for the coming to text room. There's only 3 more tasks left. They look like they're pretty short, so this might be a short video. Then for the remaining of the video, I might just talk at the end or something like that. So let's go ahead and get this over with and go ahead and get knocked out. Let's start with task 8, backups. Backups are arguably the single most important defense measure you can take to protect your data. No matter what happens, if you have taken appropriate steps to back up your information, you'll always be able to recover almost regardless of the severity of the damage. Whether the data in question is all important business critical data work or family photos at home, backups are a simple insurance measure that pay off itself many times over should be the worst case or worst comes to pass. Depending on the data in question, taking and restoring from backups could be as simple as just dragging and dropping folders into Google Drive. That said, there are many software solutions available to help automate backup and take the pain out of restoration. The golden 3-2-1 rule. The golden standard for taking backups is relatively simple and is often called the 3-2-1 rule. The 3-2 rule specifies that you should always take at least three up-to-date copies of your data. This can include the original copy, and all copies must be maintained. Backup should be stored on at least 2 different storage mediums. For example, a cloud backup in the USB drive. This can include a hard drive on your computer. 1 or more backups should be stored off-site. Cloud services such as Google Drive are ideal for personal use in this regard. Your backup should be safe if all 3 conditions of the 3-2-1 rule has been met, but of equal importance is the frequency at which you take backups. There's no point in keeping your backups stored securely if they are all year old. How frequently you back up your data is up to you, and usually depends on the sensitivity of the data compared to the risk of the compromise and the amount of backup storage available. For example, a multi-billion-dollar pound corporation handling sensitive data is at a high risk of ransomware and may wish to take full backups 2 to 3 times a day. By comparison, a home user may only feel the need to take a backup once or twice a week. What's the minimum number of up-to-date backups you should make? 3. Okay. Of these, how many at minimum should be stored in private locations? What is it? 2? Oh, wait. 1? Nah. This is a guess. Backup should be stored in 2 different storage mediums and then in 1 private location. I'm tracking. Okay. Patches and updates and patches. Software updates. Updates are essentially part of the software development lifecycle, SDLC. Software development lifecycle. They allow developers to add new features, fix bugs, otherwise simply alter aspects of the product. When vulnerabilities are discovered in software, the developers usually release special updates called patches that contain a fix for the vulnerability or otherwise a patch the security issue. For this reason, it is imperative that you update software whenever possible, especially for things like operating systems like Windows or Mac OS, where vulnerabilities can be particularly dangerous. As seen in this case study shown below, case study Eternal Blue. Click to read. I know about Eternal Blue, so it's interesting. Let's go ahead and read about this. Eternal Blue is believed to have been discovered by the United States National Security Agency, the NSA, and was leaked to the general public in April 2017. The vulnerability affected an integrated part of the Windows operating system and gives the remote attacker complete control over the target at the highest level of privileges. You can see this for yourself in the Blue Room on TryHackMe. Microsoft quickly released a patch, the infamous MS17-101, which was designed to remove the vulnerability component in the software. However, many administrators simply choose not to download it for one reason or another. Why is this important? Internal Blue was the transmission vector that the WannaCry ransomware discussed in Task 4 used to spread and infect new devices. Internal Blue gave it full access to the target remotely, making it a perfect vulnerability to exploit with a self-replicating virus. Despite a patch having been made available months before the appearance of WannaCry, the ransomware was still able to attack millions of unpatched systems with a disastrous effect. You can read more about Eternal Blue here. Could have did better, but it's alright. That was fun. Unfortunately, all software eventually lose support for their maintainers. Unfortunately, all software eventually lose support from its maintainers, becoming depreciated and and no longer receiving updates. For example, Windows 7, which is super old, don't make sense to give support to something that old. This is referred to as software beginning EOL, end of life. At this point, the software must be replaced as soon as possible. If replacing the software is not possible, then the devices should be segregated as far as possible to prevent exploitation of the vulnerability that would inevitably be found and left unpatched. Antivirus updates. Most antivirus updates software packages receive very frequent updates. This is because they largely work using a local database of known exploit signatures, which must be kept to date. In other words, when new malware is discovered, it gets sent out around antivirus vendors who generate a signature that identifies this particular piece of malicious software. These signatures are then distributed to each device on the planet that use the antivirus software, ensuring that the installed antivirus solution is kept up to date on all the latest known malware. If antivirus software is not allowed to update, it will still be able to catch some malware through other methods. However, if the local signature database will quickly become outdated, resulting in malicious software potentially failing through the gaps. In short, if the antivirus wants to update, let it. Optional, complete the blue rule and try TryHackMe to see the brute force of internal blue exploit in action against an unpatched machine for yourself. Can I do open another tab? I can. We can leave that after this. Let's finish off strong. Conclusion. To conclude, there are many different options for a malicious attacker to attack target both individual and sweeping groups. However, there are remediations for each attack. Having completed the room, you should hopefully understand a little bit more about these common attacks and the defenses against them. You do not need to be an expert in computers or cybersecurity to stay safe online. The solutions are simple and worth adopting into your personal and professional online interactions. I have completed the common attack room. Hoo-yah. Let's give ourselves a pound on the back, guys. We got 56 points. We completed 10 tasks. This was a walkthrough. Difficulty, easy. Gotta start somewhere, guys, and we got street going. Don't hate where we started, man. We just gotta enjoy the journey. It ain't about where we headed in the end goal. Ah, we got badge. Let's go. Cybersecurity awareness badge or cyber awareness badge. Didn't get the comprehensive reading one. So let's go. We got that one. Another badge, hey man. Let's go ahead and look at it one more time. That's pretty cool. We got badge. It's lit. So that would be a conclusion of the comment and text room. It was a pretty short video. I didn't know how long the remaining of the video was gonna take, but we was able to get done. We got the badge, so that's a dub.